Imagine a world where the stars aren't just twinkling lights in the night sky, but bustling highways connecting civilizations beyond our wildest dreams. A world where the boundaries of what's possible, what's acceptable, are constantly being rewritten. In this vast, unforgiving expanse of the cosmos, where humans are often considered the fragile, almost insignificant newcomers, there are those who dare to defy the norms, to push the limits of what it means to be alive, to love, and to survive. And in the heart of this galactic tapestry, there's a story, a continuation of a journey that will challenge everything you thought you knew about courage, connection, and the sheer audacity of the human spirit that we left off in a place of precarious balance, a moment suspended between hope and utter despair. The echoes of the first encounter, the initial, almost impossible bond forged between a human and a being of towering strength and alien majesty, still reverberate through the corridors of our story. The human, a soul driven by an insatiable curiosity and a heart that refused to be confined by fear, had taken a leap of faith, a step into the unknown that had forever altered the course of their life. And the alien giant, a being of immense power and ancient wisdom, had found something unexpected, something profoundly moving in the fragile resilience of this human. That initial, almost forbidden connection, a spark of understanding in a universe of vast differences, had ignited a flame that was now threatened by the very forces that sought to extinguish it. But let's rewind, just for a moment, to understand the gravity of the situation. This isn't just a tale of romantic entanglement across the stars. It's a story about the clash of cultures, the struggle for survival in a galaxy teeming with both wonder and peril. It's about the very nature of acceptance, the courage to bridge the gaps that separate us, and the consequences of daring to love beyond the boundaries of the known. The human, let's call them a pioneer, found themselves caught in a web of political intrigue, societal prejudice, and the raw, untamed dangers of a world far removed from the familiar comforts of Earth. The alien giant, a protector, a warrior, a being bound by ancient traditions and responsibilities, had placed themselves in a position of vulnerability, a position that could cost them everything. The tension, you see, wasn't just about the physical differences, the sheer scale of the alien, the stark contrast between their strength and the human's vulnerability. It was about the unspoken rules, the deeply ingrained beliefs that governed their respective societies. It was about the fear of the unknown, the prejudice that whispered in the shadows, threatening to tear them apart. The human's presence, their very existence, was a catalyst, a spark that ignited long-simmering resentments and fears. They were an anomaly, a disruption to the established order, and those who sought to maintain that order were willing to go to any lengths to eliminate the threat. And the threat, in their eyes, wasn't just the human. It was the potential for change, the possibility that the rigid structures of their society could be challenged, that the boundaries they had so carefully constructed could be breached. It was the fear that the alien giant, a symbol of their power and authority, could be swayed by the influence of this fragile, seemingly insignificant being. The whispers started as murmurs, then grew into a chorus of condemnation, accusations, and threats. The human was labeled a corrupting influence, a danger to their way of life, and the alien giant was accused of betrayal, of abandoning their duty to their people. But amidst this chaos, a flicker of hope remained. The bond between the human and the alien giant, though tested and strained, had proven to be stronger than anyone had anticipated. It was a connection forged in mutual respect, in a shared understanding that transcended the barriers of language and culture. It was a bond built on trust, on the unwavering belief that, despite their differences, they were not so different after all. And in a universe where alliances were often fragile and fleeting, this connection, this unwavering loyalty, was a beacon of light in the encroaching darkness. The human, despite the fear and uncertainty that gnawed at their heart, refused to back down. They had come too far, seen too much, to simply surrender to the forces that sought to divide them. They had learned to navigate the treacherous currents of alien politics, to understand the nuances of a society that was both fascinating and terrifying. They had learned to adapt, to survive, to thrive in an environment that was constantly trying to break them. And in doing so, they had discovered a strength within themselves that they never knew existed, a resilience that surprised even them. the alien giant, too, faced their own trials. They were torn between their duty to their people and their loyalty to the human, a conflict that threatened to shatter their very being. They were forced to confront the prejudices that had shaped their worldview, to question the traditions that had guided their actions for centuries. They were forced to make a choice that would determine not only their own fate but the fate of their people. And as the tension mounted, as the whispers grew louder, as the threats became more tangible, the human and the alien giant found themselves caught in a whirlwind of events that threatened to consume them both. They were hunted, pursued by those who sought to eliminate them, to erase the very possibility of their connection. They were forced to flee, to seek refuge in the uncharted territories of the galaxy, where the dangers were unknown but the hope of survival was greater. The chase was relentless, a desperate struggle for survival against overwhelming odds. The human, relying on their ingenuity and adaptability, used every resource at their disposal to evade their pursuers. The alien giant, drawing on their strength and their knowledge of the terrain, protected the human, shielding them from harm, guiding them through the treacherous landscapes of alien worlds. They were a team, a partnership forged in adversity, a testament to the power of connection in a universe that often seemed determined to tear them apart. But the pursuit wasn't just physical. It was also a battle of wills, a struggle against the psychological warfare waged by their enemies. The whispers, the accusations, the lies were designed to sow doubt, to erode their trust, to break their spirit. And at times, the human felt the weight of the world pressing down on them, the burden of being different, of being the catalyst for so much chaos. They questioned their own judgment, their own motives, wondering if they had made a terrible mistake, if they had doomed themselves and the alien giant to a life of perpetual flight. The alien giant, too, faced their own demons. They were haunted by the fear that they had betrayed their people, that they had brought shame upon their family, that they had jeopardized the very future of their civilization. They wrestled with the weight of their responsibility, the burden of leadership, the knowledge that their actions had consequences that extended far beyond their own lives. And as the chase continued, as the dangers mounted, as the pressure intensified, the human and the alien giant were forced to confront their deepest fears, their most profound doubts. They were forced to look inward, to examine the very core of their being, to understand what truly mattered to them. They were forced to make choices, difficult choices, choices that would define them, choices that would determine their fate. The galaxy, you see, is a vast and unforgiving place. It's a place where the rules are constantly changing, where the boundaries are constantly shifting. It's a place where the unexpected can happen at any moment, where the fragile can become strong, where the impossible can become reality. And in the midst of this chaos, in the heart of this epic galactic adventure, the human and the alien giant were about to discover the true meaning of courage, the true power of connection, and the true resilience of the human spirit. Just as they thought they had found a moment of respite, a brief reprieve from the relentless pursuit, they stumbled upon something unexpected, something that would change everything. A hidden outpost, a forgotten colony, a place where the echoes of a long-lost civilization still lingered. And in this place, they found something more than just shelter. They found a secret, a revelation, a truth that had been buried for centuries, a truth that threatened to shatter the very foundations of their understanding of the galaxy. This hidden truth, this ancient secret, wasn't just a historical artifact. It was a weapon, a power, a force that could tip the balance of power in the galaxy, a force that both their pursuers and their allies sought to control. And in the hands of the wrong people, it could mean the destruction of everything they held dear. The human and the alien giant found themselves caught in a new struggle, a battle for the very soul of the galaxy. They were no longer just fugitives, they were guardians, protectors of a secret that could change the course of history. They were forced to make alliances with unexpected allies, to navigate the treacherous waters of galactic politics, to confront enemies they never knew existed. And as they delved deeper into the mysteries of the ancient civilization, they began to understand the true nature of their connection, the reason why they had been drawn together, the purpose that had brought them to this place. Their bond wasn't just a matter of chance, it was a destiny, a convergence of paths that had been set in motion long ago. But the dangers were far from over. Their pursuers were closing in, their enemies were growing stronger, and the secret they held was becoming more valuable than ever. The human and the alien giant were facing a battle that would test their courage, their loyalty, and their very existence. And in the face of overwhelming odds, they would have to make a choice: to fight for their future, or to surrender to the darkness that threatened to engulf them all. To truly understand the weight of this choice, you need to know where it all began, the subtle shifts that led to this grand, cosmic collision. It wasn't just the stark physical differences that made their pairings so improbable. It was the vast chasm of their histories, the disparate threads of their cultures woven into the very fabric of their beings. The human, a product of a world grappling with its own internal conflicts, a planet struggling to find its place in the grand scheme of the galaxy, carried within them the echoes of their ancestors' dreams, their fears, their triumphs. They were a testament to the resilience of their species, a species that had faced extinction, that had clawed its way back from the brink, that had dared to reach for the stars. The alien giant, on the other hand, was a descendant of an ancient lineage, a civilization that had witnessed the birth and death of stars, a people who had mastered the art of interstellar travel long before humanity had even dreamed of leaving their own solar system. Their culture was steeped in tradition, in rituals that had been passed down through generations, in a deep respect for the balance of the cosmos. They were guardians of knowledge, protectors of the ancient secrets that lay hidden within the depths of the galaxy. Their paths crossed in the most unexpected of circumstances, a chance encounter on a remote outpost, a place where the boundaries between worlds blurred, where the rules of engagement were constantly being rewritten. The human, driven by their insatiable curiosity, had ventured into uncharted territory, seeking answers to questions that had haunted them for years. The alien giant, bound by their duty to protect the ancient secrets, had been stationed at the outpost, a silent sentinel, a watchful guardian. The initial encounter was fraught with tension, a clash of cultures, a misunderstanding that threatened to escalate into violence. But amidst the chaos, a spark of understanding ignited, a flicker of recognition that transcended the barriers of language and culture. The human, despite their fear, saw a depth of wisdom, a sense of compassion, in the alien giant's eyes. The alien giant, despite their initial suspicion, saw a spark of courage, a thirst for knowledge, in the human's gaze. That initial connection, that fleeting moment of understanding, was the catalyst that set their destinies on a collision course. It was a moment that challenged their preconceived notions, that forced them to question the prejudices that had shaped their worldview. It was a moment that opened their eyes to the possibility of something more, something beyond the boundaries of their own limited experiences. But their connection was not without its challenges. The differences between their cultures, the vast gulf of their histories, created a constant source of friction, a series of misunderstandings that threatened to drive them apart. The human, accustomed to the open communication and individualistic nature of their society, struggled to understand the rigid hierarchies and unspoken rules of the alien giant's culture. The alien giant, accustomed to the strict adherence to tradition and the collective mindset of their people, struggled to comprehend the human's independent spirit and their relentless pursuit of knowledge. And then there was the physical aspect, the sheer scale of the alien giant, the immense power that they wielded. The human, accustomed to their own fragility, their own limitations, was constantly reminded of the vast difference in their physical capabilities. The alien giant, accustomed to their own strength, their own dominance, had to learn to temper their power, to be mindful of the human's vulnerability. Their relationship was a constant negotiation, a delicate balancing act, a series of compromises that tested their patience, their understanding, their very capacity for empathy. They had to learn to communicate in ways that transcended language, to understand each other's unspoken needs, to respect each other's boundaries. They had to learn to trust, to rely on each other, to build a bond that could withstand the pressures of their vastly different worlds. But their connection, their bond, was more than just a matter of personal preference. It was a matter of survival, a necessity in a galaxy that was constantly throwing them into the path of danger. Their enemies, those who sought to maintain the status quo, those who feared the potential of their connection, were relentless in their pursuit. They used every weapon at their disposal, from physical force to psychological manipulation, to drive a wedge between them, to break their spirit. the human and the alien giant were forced to become masters of evasion, experts in survival, strategists in the art of escape. They learned to navigate the treacherous landscapes of alien worlds, to decipher the cryptic messages of ancient civilizations, to anticipate the moves of their enemies. They became a formidable team, a force to be reckoned with, a symbol of defiance against the forces that sought to control them, and as they journeyed through the galaxy, they encountered a diverse array of beings, some friendly, some hostile, some simply indifferent. They learned to adapt to different cultures, to understand different perspectives, to appreciate the vast tapestry of life that existed beyond their own limited experiences. They were exposed to the wonders of the cosmos, the breathtaking beauty of nebulae, the awe-inspiring power of black holes, the intricate dance of celestial bodies, but they also witnessed the darker side of the galaxy, the cruelty of those who sought to exploit and dominate, the devastation wrought by war and conflict, the despair of those who had lost everything. They saw the consequences of unchecked power, the dangers of blind obedience, the fragility of peace. They learned that the galaxy was not just a place of wonder and adventure, but also a place of struggle and sacrifice, a place where the choices they made could have far-reaching consequences, and amidst this chaos, amidst the constant struggle for survival, their bond deepened, their connection grew stronger. They learned to rely on each other, to trust each other implicitly, to find strength in their shared vulnerability. They discovered the true meaning of loyalty, the unwavering support that came from knowing that someone had your back, no matter what. But the secret they held, the ancient knowledge they had uncovered, was a double-edged sword. It was a source of power, a potential weapon, but it was also a burden, a responsibility that weighed heavily on their shoulders. They knew that if it fell into the wrong hands, it could be used to inflict unimaginable suffering, to plunge the galaxy into chaos. They knew that they had to protect it, to safeguard it, to ensure that it was used for good, not for evil. And as they faced the challenges ahead, as they confronted the dangers that lurked in the shadows, they knew that they were not just fighting for their own survival, but for the survival of the galaxy itself. They were fighting for the right to choose their own destiny, to forge their own path, to create a future where connection and understanding could bridge the gaps between worlds. They were fighting for the very essence of what it meant to be alive, to be human, to be a part of the vast and wondrous tapestry of the cosmos. The pursuit was never-ending. Those who wanted the secret were relentless. They hired bounty hunters, sent out fleets of ships, and spread disinformation to turn planets against them. The human and the giant found themselves jumping from system to system, always looking over their shoulders. They had to learn to live with a constant state of anxiety, never knowing when the next attack would come. They learned to read the signs, to anticipate the enemy's moves, to use their own ingenuity to turn the tables. They discovered hidden networks of smugglers and rebels, those who lived on the fringes of society, those who had their own reasons for resisting the powers that be. These individuals became their allies, their informants, their guides. They provided them with safe havens, with supplies, with information that helped them stay one step ahead of their pursuers. But even with these allies, they were constantly outnumbered, outgunned. They had to rely on their wits, on their skills, on their ability to work together as a team. The human, with their knowledge of technology and their ability to think outside the box, often came up with ingenious solutions to seemingly impossible problems. The giant, with their strength and their knowledge of alien weaponry, provided the muscle, the firepower, the protection they needed. They learned to use the environment to their advantage, to hide in asteroid fields, to navigate treacherous nebulae, to use the gravity of black holes to slingshot themselves across vast distances. They became masters of stealth, of deception, of guerrilla tactics. They learned to blend in with different cultures, to speak different languages, to adopt different disguises. But the psychological toll was immense. The constant pressure, the constant fear, began to wear them down. They had to learn to manage their stress, to support each other, to find moments of peace amidst the chaos. They found solace in each other's company, in the shared experiences that had forged their bond. The human began to understand the weight of the giant's responsibilities, the burdens they carried as a protector and a leader. The giant, in turn, began to appreciate the human's resilience, their determination, their unwavering belief in the power of hope. They learned to see each other not just as allies, but as friends, as family. And as they faced the challenges ahead, they knew that they were not just fighting for themselves, but for a future where differences were celebrated, where understanding prevailed, where the galaxy could embrace its diversity. They were fighting for a future where the human and the alien giant could live in peace, where their connection could be a symbol of hope, a testament to the power of love and understanding in a universe that often seemed determined to tear them apart. The ancient outpost, a relic of a civilization that had mastered interstellar travel long before either of their species, became a focal point. Its crumbling structures held more than just dust and echoes. They held the key to unlocking the secrets of the ancient weapon, the force that could reshape the galaxy. The human, with their knack for deciphering forgotten technologies, spent countless hours poring over the cryptic symbols and holographic projections left behind by the vanished civilization. The alien giant, with their knowledge of ancient lore and their ability to interface with the outpost systems, provided invaluable insights, bridging the gap between the past and the present. They discovered that the weapon wasn't a physical object, but a complex energy matrix, a network that could tap into the very fabric of spacetime. It was a power that could be used to create wormholes, to manipulate gravity, to even alter the fundamental laws of physics. But it was also a power that could be corrupted, a force that could be used to unleash unimaginable destruction. Their pursuers, a shadowy organization known as the Convergence, were closing in. They were a collective of powerful individuals from various species, united by their desire to control the ancient weapon. They saw it as the ultimate tool of domination, a means to enforce their vision of a unified galaxy, a vision that was devoid of diversity and individuality. The human and the alien giant knew that they couldn't allow the Convergence to obtain the weapon. They had to find a way to activate it, to control it, to use it for the good of the galaxy. But they also knew that they were running out of time. The Convergence's forces were vast, their resources limitless, their determination unwavering. They decided to make a stand, to confront the Convergence at the ancient outpost, to use the weapon's power to defend themselves and to protect the galaxy. They knew that it was a risky move, a gamble that could cost them everything. But they also knew that they couldn't run forever. They had to face their enemies, to fight for their freedom, to protect the future of the galaxy. They prepared for the battle, fortifying the outpost's defenses, activating its ancient security systems, and devising a strategy to counter the Convergence's overwhelming firepower. The human, with their knowledge of engineering and their ability to improvise, created makeshift weapons and traps, using the outpost's technology to their advantage. The alien giant, with their strength and their combat skills, trained the outpost's automated defenses, preparing them to unleash a barrage of energy blasts and kinetic projectiles. The Convergence arrived with a massive fleet of warships, their sleek hulls gleaming in the light of the nearby star. They surrounded the outpost, their weapons charged, their intentions clear. They demanded that the human and the alien giant surrender, that they hand over the ancient weapon. But the human and the alien giant refused. They stood their ground, their resolve unwavering, their determination unyielding. The battle began with a barrage of energy blasts, the sky above the outpost erupting in a dazzling display of light and sound. The outpost's defenses retaliated, unleashing a torrent of energy that tore through the Convergence's ships, disabling their shields and causing them to retreat. The human and the alien giant, working in tandem, coordinated their attacks, using the outpost's systems to target the Convergence's command ships and disable their communication networks. The Convergence, realizing that they couldn't overwhelm the outpost's defenses with brute force, resorted to more subtle tactics. They deployed infiltrators, shapeshifters capable of mimicking any form, to infiltrate the outpost and sabotage its systems. They also launched cyber attacks, attempting to hack into the outpost's network and disable its defenses. The human and the alien giant had to be vigilant, constantly monitoring the outpost systems, searching for infiltrators, and defending against cyber attacks. They used their combined skills and knowledge to counter the Convergence's tactics, anticipating their moves and devising countermeasures. They were constantly on the edge, their senses heightened, their reflexes sharpened, their minds focused on the task at hand. The battle raged on, the outpost becoming a battleground, a symbol of resistance against the forces of oppression. The human and the alien giant fought side by side, their bonds strengthened by the shared danger, their loyalty unwavering. They were a team, a force to be reckoned with, a testament to the power of connection in a galaxy that often seemed determined to tear them apart. As the battle reached its climax, the Convergence launched a final, desperate attack. They deployed their most powerful weapon, a singularity generator, a device that could create a miniature black hole, a force that could tear the outpost apart. The human and the alien giant knew that they had to stop it, that they had to find a way to neutralize the singularity generator before it was activated. The human, using their knowledge of the outpost systems, devised a plan to redirect the singularity generator's energy, to channel it into the ancient weapons network, to use it to activate the weapon's full potential. The alien giant, using their strength and their combat skills, fought their way to the singularity generator, disabling its security systems and preparing it for the human's plan. The human activated the ancient weapons network, channeling the singularity generator's energy into the matrix, causing it to resonate with unimaginable power. The outpost began to shake, its ancient structures groaning under the strain, its energy systems overloading. The sky above the outpost erupted in a blinding flash of light, the singularity generator's energy merging with the ancient weapons network, creating a vortex of pure energy. The Convergence's ships, caught in the vortex, were torn apart, their hulls crushed, their energy systems overloaded. The singularity generator, its energy redirected, imploded, creating a shockwave that rippled through the galaxy, disrupting the Convergence's communication networks and disabling their remaining ships. The ancient weapon, its full potential unleashed, activated, creating a network of wormholes that spanned the galaxy, connecting distant worlds, opening up new possibilities for exploration, for trade, for cultural exchange. The human and the alien giant, standing at the heart of the outpost, watched as the galaxy was transformed, as the ancient weapon's power reshaped the cosmos. But their victory was not without its cost. The outpost, overloaded by the singularity generator's energy, began to collapse, its ancient structures crumbling, its energy systems failing. The human and the alien giant knew that they had to escape, that they had to leave the outpost before it was completely destroyed. They made their way to their ship, a small, nimble vessel that had served them well throughout their journey. They launched into space, leaving the collapsing outpost behind, watching as it was consumed by the vortex of energy, its secrets buried once again. As they flew away, they knew that their journey was far from over. They had defeated the Convergence, but they knew that there were others who would seek to control the ancient weapon's power. They knew that they had to remain vigilant, to continue to protect the galaxy from those who would exploit its power for their own selfish ends. They also knew that their bond, their connection, was stronger than ever. They had faced unimaginable challenges, they had overcome impossible odds, they had proven that their love, their loyalty, their friendship, could transcend the boundaries of their vastly different worlds. They were a symbol of hope, a testament to the power of connection in a galaxy. Why that often seemed determined to tear them apart, but the lingering question remained. What had the activation of the ancient weapon truly unleashed? Had they truly saved the galaxy, or had they inadvertently opened a door to something far more dangerous? The faint echoes of a distant signal, a rhythmic pulse emanating from the depths of unexplored space, hinted at an answer, a looming threat that would test their courage and their connection once more. The signal, a haunting melody of unknown origin, resonated with a power that felt both ancient and alien, a power that promised to reshape the galaxy in ways they could scarcely imagine. That rhythmic pulse, that haunting melody, wasn't just a random signal. It was a beacon, a call to something ancient, something dormant, something that had been awakened by the activation of the ancient weapon. As the human and the alien giant navigated the vast expanse of space, they found themselves drawn towards the source of the signal, a region of the galaxy shrouded in mystery, a place where stars flickered and died, where space itself seemed to warp and twist. The signal grew stronger, its melody more insistent, its rhythm more compelling. They felt a pull, an almost irresistible urge to follow it, to uncover its secrets. But they also felt a sense of dread, a premonition of danger, a warning that they were venturing into uncharted territory, into a realm where the rules of the universe were bent and broken. As they approached the source of the signal, they encountered strange anomalies, gravitational distortions that threatened to tear their ship apart, temporal fluctuations that caused time to speed up and slow down, and energy fields that pulsed with an otherworldly light. They were entering a region of space that was not only unknown but also inherently unstable. And then they saw it, a colossal structure, a network of interlocking rings and crystalline spires, a monument to an alien engineering feat that dwarfed even the ancient outpost. It was a gateway, a portal, a conduit to another dimension, a place where the boundaries between realities blurred. The structure pulsed with the same rhythm as the signal, its crystalline spires resonating with the haunting melody. The human, with their understanding of quantum physics, recognized the structure as a dimensional gateway, a device capable of opening portals to other universes. The alien giant, with their knowledge of ancient lore, recognized it as a legendary artifact, a device that had been used by the vanished civilization to explore the multiverse. But the gateway was not dormant. It was active, its portals flickering, its energy fields surging. And from within its depths, something was emerging, something that was drawn to the ancient weapon's power, something that had been awakened by its activation. They saw them, colossal beings, creatures of pure energy, their forms shimmering and shifting, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. They were the Sentinels, guardians of the multiverse, beings who had been tasked with protecting the boundaries between realities. But they were not benevolent guardians. They were enraged, their energy fields crackling with fury, their eyes burning with hatred. They had sensed the disruption, the ripple in the fabric of reality caused by the ancient weapon's activation. They saw it as a violation, a transgression against the natural order of the multiverse. And they held the human and the alien giant responsible. The Sentinels attacked without warning, their energy blasts tearing through space, their gravitational waves distorting the fabric of reality. The human and the alien giant, caught off guard, struggled to defend themselves, their ship buffeted by the Sentinels' attacks, their shields flickering and failing. The Sentinels were relentless, their attacks growing more intense, their energy fields more powerful. They were determined to eliminate the human and the alien giant, to erase the stain of their transgression from the multiverse. The human and the alien giant realized that they were facing a threat far greater than anything they had encountered before. The Sentinels were not just powerful, they were fundamentally different, beings of pure energy, creatures who existed beyond the limitations of physical reality. They had to find a way to escape, to retreat from the Sentinels' wrath, to find a safe haven where they could regroup and devise a plan to counter this new threat. But the Sentinels were blocking their escape routes, their energy fields forming an impenetrable barrier around them. The human, drawing on their ingenuity and their knowledge of the ancient weapons network, devised a desperate plan. They would use the gateway, the portal to another dimension, to escape the Sentinels' grasp. They would jump to another universe, to a place where the Sentinels could not follow. But the gateway was unstable, its portals flickering and shifting, its energy fields surging with unpredictable power. Jumping through it was a gamble, a leap into the unknown, a risk that could send them to any point in the multiverse, to any reality, to any dimension. The alien giant, despite their reservations, agreed to the plan. They had no other choice. They had to take the risk, to trust in the human's judgment, to hope that they could find a way to survive in whatever reality they found themselves in. They steered their ship towards the gateway, their hearts pounding, their senses heightened, their minds focused on the task at hand. The Sentinels, sensing their intent, increased their attacks, their energy blasts tearing through the ship's hull, their gravitational waves shaking it to its core. The human activated the gateway's controls, inputting the coordinates for a random jump, a blind leap into the multiverse. The gateway's portals surged with energy, their shimmering surfaces swirling and twisting, their colors shifting and changing. The ship plunged into the gateway, its hull enveloped by the swirling vortex of energy, its passengers bracing for the unknown. The Sentinels, their attacks thwarted, watched as the ship disappeared into the gateway, their eyes burning with fury, their energy fields crackling with rage. The ship emerged from the gateway, its passengers disoriented, their senses overloaded, their minds reeling from the experience. They found themselves in a strange and alien reality, a dimension where the laws of physics were different, where the sky was a kaleidoscope of colors, where the ground was a shifting landscape of crystalline formations. They had escaped the Sentinels, but they had also entered a new and unknown world, a place where they were completely vulnerable, a dimension where they had no idea what dangers lurked in the shadows. The new world was vibrant and dangerous. The air shimmered with unseen energies, and the very ground seemed to shift and breathe. Strange, bioluminescent creatures flitted through the alien flora, their eyes glowing with an unsettling intelligence. The human and the alien giant knew they had to find shelter, a place to assess their situation and plan their next move. But the Sentinels, though unable to follow them through the gateway, had left a lingering trace, a subtle energy signature that could be tracked across dimensions. The hunt was far from over. The energy signature, a faint echo of the ancient weapon's power, led the Sentinel scouts through the dimensional gateway. They were relentless, their pursuit driven by an unwavering determination to erase the perceived violation of the multiverse. The human and the alien giant, realizing their precarious position, sought refuge within a vast, crystalline cave system, hoping to use its labyrinthine passages to evade their pursuers. The cave pulsed with the same otherworldly energy as the surrounding landscape, a living network of crystalline veins that hummed with an almost sentient resonance. As they ventured deeper, they discovered remnants of a long-lost civilization, beings who had mastered the art of interdimensional travel, but had ultimately succumbed to the Sentinels' wrath. Holographic projections flickered with images of their final stand, a desperate battle against the energy beings, a struggle that had ended in their annihilation. The human, deciphering the ancient language, discovered a hidden chamber, a repository of knowledge that held the key to understanding the Sentinels' true nature. The Sentinels, it turned out, were not merely guardians, but enforcers, beings who maintained the balance of the multiverse by suppressing any civilization that threatened to disrupt the established order. They saw the ancient weapon and humanity's use of it as a dangerous precedent, a potential catalyst for chaos. They feared the potential for uncontrolled interdimensional travel, the possibility that it could lead to the collapse of the multiverse itself. The human realized that they couldn't defeat the Sentinels with brute force. They had to find a way to communicate, to reason, to convince them that their actions were not a threat, but a necessity. They had to prove that humanity and the alien giants people could be responsible stewards of interdimensional travel, that they could use the ancient weapon's power for the good of the multiverse. But the Sentinels were not receptive to reason. They saw humanity as a primitive species, incapable of understanding the complexities of the multiverse, a danger that had to be eliminated. They launched a full-scale assault, their energy blasts tearing through the cave system, their gravitational waves causing the crystalline structures to shatter. The human and the alien giant, caught in the crossfire, fought their way to the central chamber, the heart of the ancient civilization's knowledge repository. They activated the holographic projectors, broadcasting a message to the Sentinels, a plea for understanding, a demonstration of humanity's potential. They showcased humanity's achievements, their scientific discoveries, their artistic creations, their capacity for empathy and compassion. They highlighted the bond between the human and the alien giant, a testament to the power of connection across vast differences. They argued that the ancient weapon was not a tool of destruction, but a tool of exploration, a means to expand the horizons of knowledge and understanding. The Sentinels paused, their attacks momentarily ceasing. They observed the holographic projections, their energy fields flickering with uncertainty. They were intrigued, but also wary, their distrust deeply ingrained. The human, sensing a flicker of doubt in the Sentinels' minds, took a risk. They deactivated the ancient weapons network, severing the connection to the multiverse. They demonstrated their willingness to relinquish the power, to prove their commitment to responsible stewardship. The Sentinels, witnessing this act of self-sacrifice, finally understood. They realized that humanity was not a threat, but a potential ally, a species capable of learning and growing, a people who could contribute to the balance of the multiverse. They ceased their attacks, their energy fields calming, their eyes glowing with a newfound understanding. But as the tension subsided, a final, unexpected twist emerged. A rogue Sentinel, driven by an insatiable hunger for power, seized control of the ancient civilization's technology, attempting to reactivate the ancient weapons network for its own nefarious purposes. It sought to control the multiverse, to reshape reality according to its own twisted vision. The other Sentinels, realizing the danger, turned against their rogue counterpart, a battle erupting within their ranks. The human and the alien giant, witnessing this internal conflict, knew that they had to intervene to help the Sentinels restore order to their own ranks. They reactivated the ancient weapons network, but this time, they used it to create a localized energy field, a containment bubble that trapped the rogue Sentinel, preventing it from accessing the multiverse. The other Sentinels, grateful for their assistance, banished the rogue Sentinel to a remote dimension, a place where it could no longer pose a threat. The Sentinels, their internal conflict resolved, thanked the human and the alien giant for their intervention. They acknowledged humanity's potential, their capacity for growth, their ability to contribute to the balance of the multiverse. They offered them a choice: to join the Sentinels as guardians of the multiverse, or to return to their own reality, to continue their journey among the stars. The human and the alien giant, after a moment of contemplation, chose to return to their own reality. They had learned valuable lessons, experienced incredible adventures, and forged an unbreakable bond. They knew that their journey was far from over, that there were still countless mysteries to uncover, countless challenges to overcome. As they prepared to depart, the Sentinels bestowed upon them a gift, a device that could create localized gateways, allowing them to travel between dimensions at will. They also shared with them a warning: the multiverse was vast and complex, filled with both wonders and dangers. They cautioned them to use their newfound abilities wisely, to respect the boundaries between realities, to always remember the importance of balance. The human and the alien giant, their ship repaired and their spirits renewed, activated the gateway device, returning to their own reality. They emerged into the familiar expanse of space, the twinkling stars a welcome sight. They looked at each other, their eyes filled with understanding, their hearts filled with hope. They knew that their journey had changed them forever, that they had become guardians in their own right, protectors of the fragile balance between worlds. And as they set course for new adventures, they carried with them the wisdom of the Sentinels, the knowledge that even the vastness of the multiverse could be bridged by courage, understanding, and the unwavering power of connection. The familiar hum of their ship's engines, the comforting glow of the control panel, it all felt like a homecoming. Though they had traversed dimensions, battled energy beings, and unraveled ancient mysteries, the vastness of space still held a sense of familiarity, a reminder of the journey that had brought them together. They had returned not just to their own reality, but to themselves, to the core of their being, strengthened by the trials they had faced. Their return wasn't without its challenges. The galaxy they left behind was not the same one they returned to. The ripples of the ancient weapons activation, the knowledge of interdimensional travel, had spread like wildfire, igniting a new era of exploration and discovery. Some saw it as a golden age, a chance to expand their horizons, to connect with civilizations beyond their wildest dreams. Others saw it as a threat, a Pandora's box that had been opened, unleashing chaos and uncertainty. Political factions had shifted, alliances had crumbled, and new power struggles had emerged. The convergence, though weakened, still lurked in the shadows, their desire for control undiminished. They sought to exploit the chaos, to seize the ancient weapons' power for themselves, to enforce their vision of a unified galaxy. The human and the alien giant, now seen as symbols of change, found themselves caught in the middle of this galactic upheaval. They were hailed as heroes by some, feared as disruptors by others. They had to navigate the treacherous currents of galactic politics, to use their newfound knowledge and abilities to guide the galaxy towards a peaceful and prosperous future. They began by sharing their experiences, their insights into the Sentinels and the multiverse, their understanding of the ancient weapons' true potential. They sought to educate, to inform, to dispel the fear and misinformation that had spread throughout the galaxy. They emphasized the importance of responsible exploration, of respecting the boundaries between realities, of using the ancient weapons' power for the benefit of all. They established a council, a forum for interspecies dialogue, a place where representatives from different civilizations could come together to discuss the challenges and opportunities of interdimensional travel. They shared the technology they had received from the Sentinels, the localized gateway devices, but they did so with caution, emphasizing the need for strict regulations and ethical guidelines. They also worked to dismantle the convergence, exposing their corrupt practices, their manipulative tactics, their thirst for power. They rallied support from their allies, the smugglers, the rebels, the individuals who had been marginalized and oppressed by the convergence's regime. They used their influence to promote transparency, accountability, and justice, to create a galaxy where power was shared, not hoarded. The alien giant, drawing on their leadership skills and their understanding of their people's traditions, played a crucial role in bridging the cultural divide. They emphasized the importance of balance, of respecting the natural order, of using technology responsibly. They reminded their people of their ancient wisdom, their connection to the cosmos, their responsibility to protect the galaxy's fragile ecosystem. The human, with their scientific knowledge and their ability to think outside the box, focused on developing safeguards and protocols for interdimensional travel. They worked with engineers and scientists from different civilizations to create monitoring systems, early warning devices, and emergency response teams. They established research centers to study the effects of interdimensional travel, to understand the potential risks and benefits, to develop solutions for any unforeseen consequences. They also focused on fostering cultural exchange, promoting understanding and empathy between different species. They organized festivals, conferences, and educational programs, showcasing the diversity of the galaxy, the richness of its cultures, the beauty of its art and music. They encouraged interspecies collaborations in science, technology, and the arts, promoting innovation and creativity. But their work wasn't just about grand gestures and political maneuvering. It was also about individual connections, about building bridges between people, about fostering understanding and compassion. They traveled to remote outposts, to struggling colonies, to war-torn planets, offering assistance, providing support, sharing their stories of hope and resilience. They encountered individuals who had been affected by the chaos, who had lost loved ones, who had been displaced from their homes. They listened to their stories, they offered comfort, they helped them rebuild their lives. They reminded them that even in the darkest of times, there was always hope, that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit could endure. Their relationship, the bond between the human and the alien giant, became a symbol of hope, a testament to the power of connection across vast differences. They were living proof that understanding, empathy, and love could transcend the boundaries of language, culture, and even species. They showed the galaxy that unity was possible, that dive. Recity was a strength, that the future could be bright, if only they dared to reach for it. As time passed, the galaxy began to heal. The wounds of the past began to fade, the scars of conflict began to mend. The fear and uncertainty that had gripped the galaxy began to dissipate, replaced by a sense of optimism and possibility. The ancient weapon, once a source of fear and contention, became a tool of exploration and connection, a bridge between worlds, a symbol of hope. The human and the alien giant, their work largely done, decided to embark on a new adventure, a journey of personal discovery, a quest to explore the uncharted territories of the galaxy. They left behind a legacy of peace, a foundation for a brighter future, a testament to the power of courage, connection, and the human spirit. They traveled to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, to the edges of known space, to the boundaries of the multiverse. They encountered new species, new cultures, new phenomena. They explored black holes, navigated nebulae, and witnessed the birth of stars. They discovered new forms of life, new dimensions of reality, new wonders of the cosmos. But their journey wasn't just about exploration. It was also about reflection, about understanding themselves, about appreciating the journey that had brought them to this point. They revisited the places where they had faced challenges, where they had made difficult choices, where they had forged their bond. They remembered the lessons they had learned, the sacrifices they had made, the love they had found. They realized that their journey was not just about saving the galaxy, but about saving themselves, about discovering their own potential, about understanding the true meaning of their connection. They had found strength in their vulnerability, courage in their fear, and love in their differences. They had become more than just allies, more than just friends, more than just lovers. They had become a part of each other, a single entity, a force of nature. As they gazed upon the vast expanse of the cosmos, they knew that their journey was far from over. There were still countless mysteries to uncover, countless challenges to overcome, countless wonders to behold. But they also knew that they were ready, that they had the strength, the courage, and the love to face whatever the future held. They were guardians of the galaxy, protectors of the multiverse, symbols of hope and connection. And they would continue to explore, to discover, to learn, to grow, to love, for as long as the stars shone and the universe expanded. Their story, a tale of courage, connection, and the boundless potential of the human spirit, echoed through the vastness of the cosmos. A reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, even in the depths of despair, even in the vastness of space, hope could always be found, love could always prevail, and the human heart could always find its way home.